one, Journey Montana.
Hi.
Hey, how you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can't complain. Welcome to SiriusXM Pandora Now. I know, you know, you've been working really hard on tour right now.
Yeah.
Stargirl is out, so let's kind of like start with that. Like at the end of last year, you dropped Stargirl on us.
Yeah.
Now, for the people that maybe haven't caught the project or need to know like what the title of that meant, you know what I'm saying? Can you break down the title of that project for me?
Yeah, so Stargirl, it kind of was a representation of myself and a representation of like my 19th year of life. I feel like that's when stuff started getting a little more hectic for me. I grew up really sheltered. And that year was like a lot. Like I feel like I was out every night and I was like in the club for the first time and I was like doing shows and meeting people and like, it was just like overwhelming, but in the best way. And I learned so much. And, I felt like there were also a lot of times where I was finding myself and feeling like everybody could see me, but I was like very alone sometimes. So I think Stargirl kind of has all of those aspects mixed in there, like the good and the bad and the lessons and the learning and the heartbreak. And, it was just a lot of feelings. And I think that, the project kind of has all of those. Like every song is like a different emotion and a different lesson that I learned. And yeah, Stargirl, I have it tatted. I feel like that kind of embodies a part of me because I am still learning and growing and like evolving. But I think Stargirl is like a big piece of like who I am.
Word.
Yeah.
That was like an emergence of a new level.
Yeah,
of
like
journey.
like a cocoon thing. I don't know.
That's dope. I love it. So I do want to ask you about a couple of the tracks then. The first one I want to ask about is Crybaby. That's the one I want to know. Like, since it's all about different feelings and stuff like
Yeah.
that. Like, break that down.
So I think the beginning of Stargirl started with me like going through a breakup. I wasn't really conscious that I was making my project, but I was just like going through the motions. And I'm very big on like, I write all my music, so I'm very big on like embracing the emotion that I'm feeling now. So like if I'm really freaking pissed off right now, I'm just gonna embrace it and like I'll make like 20 super pissed off songs because I don't know when I'm gonna be that pissed off again. So it started with me making really angry music, heartbreak music, and then it started evolving into like other things. And so Crybaby was like a little bit of, I mean, it's toxic. It's a kind of toxic song, I can't lie. But it's really just about distrust. Like it's kind of tapping into my trust issues that kind of came from that situation and how I was really like, I don't know, like, you're going to have to do something to convince me because I do not trust you. And so basically it's like, cry, baby, show me that you mean it. Very toxic. But, it also had other things that it meant. And it kind of was coming from my distrust from that situation. And I think just the process of me starting there at the beginning of the creation of the project and kind of ending with like Let It Go or something, it kind of shows my growth. And I think the last song I wrote on there was Stargirl, and it kind of like was the evolution kind of from it being about that to like it being about me,
So if it was like the evolution, so I know we got Undefeated on there, and then the end of it was Bad Decisions. So from Undefeated to Bad Decisions, like what was the difference in the journey that we were dealing
actually,
with?
funny story, I wrote Undefeated like years and years and years ago.
Really?
And my manager sent it to Eric Bellinger, and he was like, oh, like, what if Eric Bellinger got this? I was like, yeah, sure. I was like, yeah, okay. And he actually got on it, and I was like, oh, this is going on the project, like, immediately. So Undefeated was kind of like an outlier. Like, I had wrote that so long ago, and I wrote it with an open verse.
Okay.
And I don't really do that because I don't really like to go back to my songs. Like, I finish it in the studio, and that's what it is. And that was one of the songs that I loved so much, but I left it open. So we always kind of knew it was, like, for somebody. Like, it was an open verse for someone, and I just could never find the perfect person. And then Eric came, and he killed it. He ate that up. Yeah.
Snaps to that. That's what's up. All right, and then the last one I do want to ask about is just that Bad Decisions. Like, what was that?
So Bad Decisions was like the first song on the project. Like as soon as I made it before it came out, I was like, this is the project. I was like, okay, yeah, we're starting. Like this is it. Honestly, yeah, I was just really pissed off. I was really upset. I felt like I had been communicating with this person, and like I'm a big communication girl, so like I was laying it all out, and it was like I was only getting a response to like the last sentence or like the last word. You
sometimes
know,
the list in the paragraph is hard for us. It's
No,
hard. It's hard
there's
for
no
us
excuse.
to gather, bro. Like I can only respond to the
No.
last thing you said because that's the only thing that I can really think about. If I
No.
start from the top, everything else is lost. I promise.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of that. Like I was writing essays and I
Yeah.
was getting like 2-sentence replies or like 1 sentence, 1 word. Like I was like, I can't do this. And he was also an artist. So I think the main way for me to get him to understand was I was like, you know what? Let me just call. Let me just put it out there. So it was really a freestyle. Like they played the beat. And I had tried before to like get it off my chest. Like I was like thinking like, okay, I'm about to go in the studio and get it off my chest. And it didn't really come out how I wanted it to. And then this song, I wasn't even thinking that. I just heard the beat and then like I just came up with, can I curse?
Yeah.
But I just came up with like, you a bitch ass nigga, can't stand you. Like that was the first thing. And I was like, bro, I was like, I'm about to talk my shit real quick. Okay. So I wrote like those 2 lines, went in, and I sent it to him immediately. Oh yeah, and
this was not a
he
subtweet.
Yeah, no. I
funny.
sent it to him immediately, and
Okay.
he sent me a paragraph replying to like every line, like you went on a trip with my mans. What are you talking about? Like
I ain't gonna lie.
I'm a bit Yeah,
you probably would have got a response out of me too.
no,
off the
got it
song.
every line.
Yeah.
Every line. It was like I was like, oh, now you hear me. Yeah.
That's gangsta.
So that was really how it came out, and honestly, I'm so grateful for that experience in that song because I got it all out of my chest. Like I listen to it now and I'm like, oh my gosh, because I was like, I've healed since then. I feel like, and like I was in a very unique place. I feel like with that song, that was like pure, like heartbreak, heartache, you know. But you know, emotions are a powerful thing, and that's why I feel like as an artist, especially as an artist that writes my own music, I do have a responsibility because words and emotions are so powerful.
Facts.
You know. Yeah.
That's beautiful, and I'm glad that you were able to get that off your chest. You know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
So like, you know, after Stargirl, you dropped the live version kind of towards the top of the year.
Yeah.
But then we came into Journey. So now I feel like Journey was that time that you spent in between, like, you know, maybe healing or being able to grow a little bit more. So can you talk about Journey for me a little bit?
Yeah. So now I'm at Journey was the beginning of me working on my newer project that's coming next year. And yeah, I knew I wanted to start working on my album, and Camper reached out. Shout out DJ Camper, and he's amazing, iconic. And he wanted to get in the studio. And so we got in the studio and I told him what I was like thinking for my project and like what direction I was trying to go in because, you know, like I have the idea in my head, but like I need a partner to like kind of help me hit it right where I, you know, like right in the middle, the bullseye. So we brainstormed and then like he left me for 5 minutes, came back and like gave me the whole like lay of the land with like all of the beats, all of the tracks, like what we're gonna do here, gave me some ideas and then left. And then I sat in the studio for like 2 weeks and made the project. And so Journey came about because he actually had stopped by. He came back in and he was like, we were listening to this one track. He was like, wait, we gotta listen to this one. And he was like, you should introduce yourself. And I was like, introduce myself? He was like, yeah, like for people who don't know you and like don't know what's going on, like you should give like an introduction. He was like, I don't think a lot of people have done that other than like, you know, Jay-Z or like Eminem. Like people don't really do that like that. And I was like, I like that. And I'm an off the dome girly. So I just went in the booth and I was like, my name is Journey. And then I also talked about my grandfather. My mom was in there bawling, crying. Yeah, it was very healing. Also, like you said, like I feel like this whole project is like healed journey. Yeah, and I love that for me because it kind of reminds me of when I first started making music and I was very naive. I kind of talk about that in Journey also. Like I was a very naive teenager and preteen. Like I didn't really go through a lot of bad things, thank God. And you know, I was just always very happy-go-lucky, and I feel like I'm getting back to that, you know?
I definitely noticed, like, in the if I can quote you correctly, you said like life was good. I never really had too many issues or something like
Yeah,
that.
I had it easy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
had it easy. And then like just like you said, like I'm glad that you mentioned like you should introduce yourself, because that's what I was gonna say. Like, it feels like a reintroduction to who Journey is, and then like maybe you opening that gate for your fans just a little bit more with the mentions of your grandmother and everything. So yeah, man, that was dope. I really appreciate that song.
Thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
Yep. So the one I do want to get into after this is You. This is the track that's circling around right now. It's a beautiful, beautiful song. I really do love this song. It's like there's tracks that I consider whistlers. So it's just like, if I'm listening to it, then I can just kind of start whistling either to the beat or maybe even pick up on what you may say. Then like that becomes like one of my favorite tracks off top, because I don't know, maybe me and the vibe just match. You feel me? So yes, You is that for me.
I love that. Yeah, you kind of snuck up on me. I wasn't even really like, yeah. So it was like the middle of the night, and again, I felt like I had been getting a lot of like, I think that people were not knowing that I could sing for real. Just a little bit. Like I was like, I don't think that people, because I have a few songs where I'm like really singing and sweating. But I was like, let me try something, and the track really called for it. And I was just listening to it, and I was like this is like giving some like classic like wedding song vibes. Everybody was knocked out in the studio. I just went in and I was just like trying to think of the most like lovey-dovey, like, because I don't want to just be like, I love you, like you're great. Like I'm just like, I want to see your soul, because that's how I am. Like I want to see your soul. I want to breathe your air. I want to be in your skin, So I was trying to have that energy, something that I would play at my wedding, because that's the way that I love. And honestly, I think it was also me being mindful of my words, because I do think that I've had a lot of not so mindful with my words songs, and it's manifested. It always manifests. Like my songs always manifest for me. And I do feel like You has manifested a lot of love into my life since I've made it. So I'm really grateful for that. I think it's a beautiful song, and I just like the fact that people are listening to it, which is a new thing for me a little bit more, just because of the type of music I've made before. Like people are listening to it, and it's making them happy, and it's making them feel in love, and it's helping them express like a positive emotion. And I think that's kind of the most fulfilling part about that song for me. I think more than any other song that has all these dynamics, and like, people can kind of feel what they're feeling to it, but it's kind of subjective. But like with You, it's very straightforward. Like it's like love, it's happy, So yeah, I love that song. It came very easy to me, which I love about this whole project. It was very like, it just flowed. There was never like a stump or like where we were sitting like, what do we say next? Like it was very like effortless. So yeah, I'm glad people are receiving it well. I honestly, it was out of my comfort zone for sure, but I think that's what this whole new era is like a little bit more out of my comfort zone.
Definitely, that's good. It's like, hey, when you challenging yourself, that's usually when you make your best material.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like with your creative process, I know that you said that you sat down for like 2 weeks to make the project that's coming up, correct? So is that usually how you record? Like, do you sit down and do everything in bulk, or is it kind of a piece by piece thing with you?
No, that's why I also am just like, this is crazy, because it would take me a long, long time. And honestly, I'm still working on the project. I'm still tweaking it and adding songs and and writing and things like that. But I feel like for the most part, the meat of it just, like I said, it was just so effortless. And I think me and Camper's chemistry is to credit for that. We just clicked. Like he was the type of musicality that he has is like exactly what I've been looking for. And I just think that, we're just here. Like we're here. And even like how it's like pretty, but it's spicy. And like, he's a genius. Like the stuff that he comes up with is like insane. And I think that's also what I've been looking for, is like something outside of the box, like not a sample, like something creative and unique, and like, that has come from someone and someone's emotion, someone's heart. And I think he's very much that way with everything that he makes is very personal. And I think I'm the same way. So I think, we just clicked immediately, and everything flowed so beautifully, and I'm really grateful for that and for him, collaborating with me on this.
Shout out to the stars aligning on this one, right?
Yeah, exactly. So I'm really excited for everyone to hear. I think it's really great.
I think it'll be great for the people to hear too. If there was something that you could tell the people, that you've learned throughout your process as an artist, because you're still, growing as a young woman and as a creative and everything like that. Is there something that you learned that you feel like you've taken in stride and that's been like one of those strongholds to keep you going in the music game?
There's a few. Okay, let me think. I would say just trust yourself. And I know that's super lame, but people say that a lot. But I really feel like trusting yourself is very important, because it's easy to trust someone else, and it's easy to trust this other person and trust outcomes and replies, but I think it's really important to trust yourself and your gut and your first mind, because you have that for a reason, and it's really easy to second guess it. And once you kind of start second guessing it, it's it's not good. So I would say, because it's not really any going back, once you start second guessing it. But I would say, your first mind, always trust your first mind, trust yourself, trust your decisions, stand on that. I think that's the most important thing, for anything. And it speaks volumes. You can tell the difference when it's somebody who's just making a choice and standing on that versus someone who's second guessing it, because there's no right or wrong. So I would say trusting yourself, not because it's correct, but because it's a choice, I think is really important.
That's dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. Stick to it, man. Don't be deterred by the outside factors.
Yes. And consistency is key.
For sure that. Well, Journey, I really appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Much success to you for the rest of the year and for the upcoming year. I hope that the people receive the album the way that they're supposed to. And just, maybe a quick little tidbit. Is there a name for this project, or is it still on lock? If it's still on lock,
it's still on lock. It's still on lock.
All right, that's a bet. Well, there it is, y'all. Is there anybody you want to shout out before we get out of here?
Shout out to my mama.
Hey, Ma Dukes. All right, we appreciate you.
Okay, thank you. I'm dead.